All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening to our presentation on work-based learning and answering the survey as well. So we're here to answer some questions that you have. So go ahead, raise your hand. Anybody have questions for us, please? All right, first question. Yeah, I have a question. Is this going to cut into my personal time, or can I do it during school hours? Great question. Will it dive into your free time? Well, it might, and that's the big if. Okay, so business classes are first and eighth hour, and they flip first hour or last hour of the day, depending on whether or not it's an A and B day. So normally, what our students have been doing for the business internships, which we just kicked off this year, is eighth hour. Instead of coming to a business class, they will leave after seventh hour, or if they have a study hall, they will leave after sixth hour and go to their internship. Now, they may need to stay or decide to stay a little later beyond the normal time of school, which is 2:47. So a lot of kids are doing that. If they have an opportunity to stay later, they want to get that extra experience. If you have an after-school activity or a sport that you can't possibly miss, we can generally work something out, or unfortunately, it might not be the right fit given a certain semester if your schedule doesn't allow for it. So hopefully that answers that question. So it's a probable that it'll dive in a little bit of your free time, but normally we can work that out. All right, another question?
How good do my grades need to be?
Good question on grades. Yes, there is a grade requirement, so you must have a minimum of a 3.0. If you have less than a 3.0, it isn't that you wouldn't benefit from an internship, but it may mean that you need to spend a little more time outside of school working with certain teachers to get that grade point up. What we can do for you, though, is get you some business experience, both at our in-school cafe, as well as working with some professionals in business on maybe a job shadow. We can have you participate in field trips that we're doing as well. So we'll get you enough experience in business that I think we'll be able to take care of you that way. All right, any other questions?
How many hours a week will I work?
Good question about hours. Okay, well, we require essentially 5 hours a week, but that includes drive time. So you're really doing about 35 hours at your company every 9-week quarter. That has not been an issue for students. They've still been able to get their homework done. So it has worked out quite well in the engineering internships, which we are now doing for our second year this year. And as far as the business internships this year with our seniors, those have gone very well thus far. So far, so good. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. We can generally get that worked out. All right. What other questions do we have?
We are distance learning due to COVID. Can I still do this?
Great question about virtual learning and does that affect whether or not you can do the internship? It absolutely does not affect it. So if the business is open for business and they can receive you, they will probably have some restrictions in terms of social distancing by at least 6 feet or wearing a mask. But other than that, there should be no problem. So if you're willing to go and can get there and the business is willing to receive you, we should have no problem, and we are going ahead as scheduled. All right, any other questions? All right, well, looks like we've covered the questions. If there are other questions, please, by all means, ask myself or Mrs. Cooper or Mr. Jewell or Mr. Ebnet as well. You can contact any of us via email or chat via Teams, or just come over to our classrooms and we can sit down and have a talk with you. So appreciate your time. Looking forward to getting you guys rolling on this, getting some great experience, and it's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to it. Thanks.